If you are uncertain of your legality in the United States and you know that you have a house, a home, a mansion, property, business back home in your country, now is the time to call up your family members and have a one-on-one discussion with them to let them know. Say, hey, it's a possibility that I may get deported. I'm just putting you guys on notice that you guys need to find somewhere to live. Cheers. You may not tell them right now, and when the time comes, if and when you get deported, you may go back home and it's gonna be a bloodbath. He was building a house in his country. This is what he told me. He was still a green card holder and he never applied for citizenship. I don't know why, but he never did. And he had two of his daughters living in his house. It was a 2-bedroom. Daughters them brought in their man and they have kids in this elderly guy's house. I remember me and him, we had some discussions where he was telling me that, man, it's time for me to retire now. So I'm gonna draw out some of my savings and I'm gonna buy some material to build a room on the house. So I said, build a room for what? Are you planning to build it to rent out? He said, no, he don't have nowhere to live. No, mind you, this guy is winding down to retire, to go back home, to live in his house, and there's no space for him in his own house. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Mannix Robinson TV. Cheers on this blessed Thursday. You saw the intro, guys, and this is no joke matter, guys, what is unfolding in the United States. And every country reserves the right to protect their borders, and every country reserves the right to protect the lives of their citizens and the well-being and welfare of and the sovereignty of their country. And what America is doing is nothing different, is nothing strange. Every country reserves the right to protect their borders. So, this is it. With all that is going on, with all the uncertainty, with all the upstir and, the mass deportations that are taking place, a lot of these immigrants are undocumented immigrants that are gotten deported and that will get deported. A lot of them have assets back home in their country. Some of them have big mansions, big house, businesses back home in their country, because not all of them waste their money while they're undocumented in the United States. A lot of them, they save their money. Some of them, they may not invest it in the United States, but a lot of them invest their money that they work back home in their country. And there are some occasions when such person will be building a house or starting a business. They will have either a family member or a friend overseeing such project. Sometimes the relative or trusted friends, they will allow that individual to live on site or to live in that house while that person is still working in the United States. You have undocumented immigrants in the United States for 15 years, 20 years, working hard, building mansions back home. They never see it in person. They will get pictures, they will get photos, but to say that they have seen it and touched it, never. They cannot say that they see the base off of videos and pictures. But this is it. They will leave somebody in charge to live in that house. Believe me, you have individuals right now residing in the United States, undocumented immigrants that have wonderful homes back home in their country. And they have family members living there. And those family members start their own family. They leave their sister and their brother and they marry, they start a family, they have kids. Their kids bringing their boyfriend, bringing their girlfriend, and they have kids. Take up occupancy like it's a free-for-all, like it's theirs. It happened, guys. Some of you, it probably happening to you right now. But this is it. No joke. If you right now are uncertain of your legality in the United States, and you know that you have a house, a home, a mansion, property, business back home in your country, now is the time to call up your family members and have a one-on-one discussion with them to let them know. Say, hey, it's a possibility that I may get deported. I'm just putting you guys on notice that you guys need to find somewhere to live. Cheers. You may not tell them right now, and when the time comes, if and when you get deported, you may go back home and it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a fight. And you're saying, yo, that sound away. Believe me, you have individuals went home already. And this is not undocumented. You got American citizens that are building homes in their country, went home to check up on their property, and the person that they leave in charge took their lives. They just went to visit. Some of us, we have some entitled family members and friends that will take your life for what does not belong to them. Some of you know what I'm saying is the truth. Some of us, we have some entitled relatives and friends that will take our lives for what does not belong to them because they have become so attached to it, and we let them feel as if they have lot and share in what does not belong to them, that when the time come for us to take charge of what is ours, some of them feel so attached to it that they take it upon themselves to protect what is so-called theirs, that they will take you out. They will literally take you out. Now, you imagine you in the United States for 25 years and you are an undocumented immigrant, right? And you cannot go back. You cannot travel. And I understand there's a lot of individuals like that right now. They cannot travel. They have never gone back to their country. Some of them, they have family members that even pass off, and they can't go back to visit, to even bury their loved ones, because if they leave, they can't come back. You've been in the United States for more than a decade, 2 decades, probably half a century, undocumented. And you are building a house back home in your country. You've never seen it before. You have never touched it. You have never feel it. You never sleep in one of the rooms. You have never cook in the kitchen. You never pick a mango, a breadfruit, avocado, or anything of the sort off of your property. And you have relatives right now living in your property. Over the years, probably some of them not even paying the utilities. You are the one have to be sending down the money every month to pay the utilities. Yes, even to pay the land tax. You need to call up some of them and start having conversation with them to let them know that they need to start looking for somewhere else to live. Because guys, whether you want to believe it or not, I heard of situations where people went home to visit what is theirs, and family member send them to the afterlife. So call them up. You're not acquainted with these people personality, and you go back and your way of life and their way of life is different, and then there's a conflict now in what is yours. I remember this guy who I usually work with. I don't know if he's dead right now. It's been a long time ago. This was 15 years ago. And he was building a house in his country. This is what he told me. He was still a green card holder, and he never applied for citizenship. I don't know why, but he never did. And he had 2 of his daughters living in his house. 2 of his daughters living in his house. It was a 2-bedroom. 2-bedroom. 2 of his daughters, he said, were living in the house at the moment. Till the daughters them brought in their man, and they have kids in this elderly guy's house. Now, I remember me and him, we had some discussions where he was telling me that, man, it's time for me to retire now, so I'm gonna draw out some of my savings and I'm gonna sit down to buy some material to build a room on the house. So I said, build a room for what? You're gonna use the room, are you planning to build it to rent out? He said no. He don't have nowhere to live. I was so pissed. Guys, I was so heated. The guy said that he's gonna draw out money out of his savings to send down to build a room so he can live somewhere, because his daughters brought in their boyfriends and now they have kids in the house and he doesn't have no place to live in his house. No, mind you, this guy is winding down to retire, to go back home, to live in his house, and there's no space for him in his own house. In his own house. In his own house. No, I don't know what type of family dynamics they have. I don't know what is their arrangement. But you can see he was depressed, he was stressed, but he wouldn't be saying it. But I said to him, I said, how did you let this thing happen? You are getting ready to retire, and you are going to build a room so that you can go back to your own place to live. What about telling your kids that they need to find somewhere else to go? He say he can't do that. He's scared. He said that he's scared of his own kids. He said that he is scared of his own kids. I took his number and he went back home. And we usually keep in touch till I found it out that I normally call the number and nobody's answering anymore. So I don't know if he's still around or whatever, but I'm not getting through to him anymore. If you have been in the United States and you are undocumented, and I know that it's not all of you can travel. You have never seen the house in person that you have built, that you have been building over the years. You have never seen it. You only see it on videos and you only see it on photos. But this is it. Because of what is going on now, please, I'm begging you, call up your relatives, let them know, say you may come back and it is time for them to start looking about, you know, either getting somewhere else to live or to make room for you. Because guys, people personality change, and sometimes people get attached to what does not belong to them. And sometimes guys, when it's time for you to put down your foot or to lay down the rules, those individuals that have become attached and become entitled to what is yours, they will not take it lightly, or they don't know how to absorb the change, and that will lead into a conflict that sometimes it doesn't end well for the owner of the property. Serious. So think about it, guys. All right, thanks for tuning in. If you find this video interesting, leave a comment, subscribe. We can have a dialogue in the comment section. All right, have yourself a good one from Manish Robinson TV, and be safe, guys, and check your travel documents, make sure that they're okay and all that good stuff. All right, you have yourself a blessed one. I'm out. Cheers.